shots, it's really time. Yeah. Thomas Jackson. Yeah.
Everyone, and welcome back into another video. Today we're going to be going over important game sense tips that many players forget, and if you have never heard of these tips before, make sure to leave a like on this video. So to start off, we're going to be talking about what is game sense. The definition of game sense basically says where it engages children in minor and modified game strategies and concepts where there are opportunities to develop both skills and an understanding of the tactics of the game. So the first game sense tactic that we're going to be going over today is being repetitive. This is a tactic that can be used on both teams to their advantage. So for example, on the map Mirage, if there was a CT player sitting under palisade constant rounds, then he could possibly be their next round. Or if a T player goes into underpass constantly, then he could be their next round. Basically, you're able to see where the enemy is going to be in the future rounds, causing you to have an advantage. Or if you just keep on playing the same way because it works out and you start losing a couple rounds, make sure to switch up your strategies because the players could be cashing onto what you do. Moving on to the next tip is the economic advantage. This one is very useful if you're on a losing streak. Basically, if you lose 4 rounds in a row on CSGO, you will receive $3,400. And if you're on the T side, just keep $300 and you'll be able to buy an AK with head armor for the next round with no kills. So a way to use this to your advantage is if you're on the T side, make sure to keep $300 when you're buying, and you're going to be able to buy an AK with head armor for the next round if you do not get any kills. And another thing to keep in mind is when on the CT side, the AK always is a one tap to the head, and majority of the players on the T side will be buying AKs. So just buy body armor instead of head armor when the enemy team is full buy and you need to save money. The next tip is the use of utilities. Basically in Silver, lots of players don't know how important it is to use utility and find it a waste of money. If you're pushing A site on T side or even CT side, flashbangs and smokes will be useful. With flashbangs, you'll be able to push in and distract the enemies, while with the smokes, you can cut off the view of the enemies. The Molotov is useful for when you need to get someone out of the site. For example, in Dust 2, you could just Molotov a site from Cat, causing them to have to move and allowing you to get an easy kill. Or you can use a grenade when you're pushing on an A site to hurt the players, or even you can block out the view of the enemies from CT by creating a smoke of dust which comes up from after the nade explodes. And the last tip that we have for this video is being aggressive or defensive. Ideally, the point of being a counter-terrorist is playing defensive on the site and vice versa for the terrorist. If the counter-terrorist plays too aggressive, then he could potentially lose the round for your team or site by just pushing in and getting himself killed. Another thing that could happen is if your team plays too offensive on the terrorist side, you could bait out your entire team, leaving you in a position where the entire enemy team would be alive and the rest of the team hating you. So on the T side, I recommend just pushing in with your team, and if you're on the counter-terrorist, just play a certain angle that you're good at. That has basically been it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, do not forget to drop a like, and if you guys want to see more of these in the future, let us know down in the comment section below.
Yeah.